I would now like to turn to the second report on Canada's fighter force. Canadians are rightfully proud of our women and men in uniform. They are proud of the fact that they are re-engaging and doing our part on the world stage. That is why we must ensure they have what they need to carry the missions we ask of them. When we formed government, we recognized that years of underinvestment from the previous Conservative government had left our military facing extensive challenges, including long-standing neglect of our Air Force. As a result of this underinvestment, we discovered our Air Force could not generate enough operational aircraft to answer our NATO and NORAD obligations at the same time. The Auditor General's report supports this finding by noting, and I quote, "Having a combat-capable fighting force is important to Canadian national security and to national defence's ability to meet Canada's commitments to NORAD and NATO." While the previous Conservative government allowed our Air Force to operate without enough aircraft to meet our international obligations, we found this unacceptable and we took action. As outlined in our defense policy, Strong, Secure, and Engaged, we are committed to providing our Air Force with the critical equipment it needs to be fully operational. After a decade of inaction by the previous government, I am pleased to say we are moving forward on purchasing new fighters for our Canadian Armed Forces, something the Conservative governments just could not get done. Rather than 65 fighters proposed by the Conservatives, we are acquiring 88 fighter jets to replace our aging CF-18 fleet. This past month, we took another step forward in our open and transparent competition by releasing the draft RFP for our future fighters. And in the interim, we are working with our trusted partner, Australia, to purchase fighter aircraft to bolster our current fleet and meet our international commitments until the permanent replacement of our CF-18s is fully operational. I'm pleased to announce that Canada has now signed the agreement to acquire 18 aircraft to bridge the gap until we acquire our full fleet. This prudent measure will help mitigate the situation as we transition into our future fighters. As the Auditor General has said, there is still more to be done to address the shortfall left by the Conservatives. And I want to be clear with Canadians, the only lasting solution for our Air Force is the purchase of new fighter jets, and at the same time having the women and men to pilot and crew those aircraft. We are working as quickly as we can to solve these two problems given the situation we faced. Our Air Force is taking concrete steps to increase its ready personnel. We identified early the need to recruit more pilots and technicians. The Air Force has already started recruiting. Plus, we are doing more to retain our pilots. I've also directed my department to prepare options to improve the combat capability of our current CF-18s. Those options will be presented to me and will further help remedy the situation we were left with. The Auditor General has noted this interim purchase will not fix our biggest problems with the fighter force, and I completely agree. Only a future fighter with the right number of people to pilot them will do that. And that is why we're making sure that we have enough jets to defend Canada, to work with our allies. And earlier this month, I had the opportunity to visit the women and men of our Canadian Armed Forces deployed to Romania on Operation Reassurance in support of NATO's enhanced air policing mission. And I'm proud to be here today to deliver for them and for all the women and men in the Canadian Armed Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that we are taking the right steps for Canada. Merci beaucoup.